Philipp Englin, CEO of World Steel Dynamics. Great to see you at your annual conference.
Thank you for talking with me.
What do you think is the biggest issue facing the steel industry at this moment in time?
Well, I think the biggest issue, and we'll probably hear it resonate throughout the presentations tomorrow and today, I'm sure, is trade and trade protectionism globally. And that really goes hand in hand with the situation in the overall industry around supply-demand balance. Overcapacity is a key theme that you'll hear discussed quite a bit. So those two big issues that are intertwined in many ways will probably dominate the themes.
On the trade front, is there general optimism within the industry that there will be some relief that favors the domestic producers?
Well, I think from the USA point of view, I would say there certainly is a feeling of optimism. It's already been exhibited in the markets for some time, probably since early last year. We're headed toward a very important moment in time here the next couple of weeks with the announcement that's due to come out from the Department of Commerce. For the moment, the market appears to be sort of lukewarm to tentative, trying to understand which direction it's going to go. But so it's hard to say that it's optimistic, but I wouldn't describe it as pessimistic.
And you mentioned overcapacity. What are we seeing in terms of supply demand right now?
Well, I think the overcapacity issue is going to take time to resolve in this industry, primarily due to its location. It's a lot of the overcapacity centered around China. It's an economy or a steel industry that doesn't necessarily operate by the same capital structure, or it doesn't abide by the rules of the capital markets like the rest of the industry does. So that's going to take some time to play out.
In terms of capacity issues, you do a lot of analytics on pricing. So what are we seeing in terms of the pricing outlook? Obviously, if there's a lot of supply, that can hurt producers in terms of profitability.
Yeah, I think the industry has recovered nicely, pricing-wise, since a very cataclysmic environment that we saw about a year ago. So we've had a period of recovery, and now I think we're sort of hitting a cyclical plateau that we believe at World Steel Dynamics is likely to be followed by a downturn in pricing for a variety of reasons, primarily because we think there's actually overproduction taking place in China right now that will eventually pull back. That'll affect raw material prices. That'll also pull down the price of steel and have a negative impact, as well as sort of the manifestation of softer demand than maybe it appears at the moment will contribute further to that kind of a pricing decline. So I think you'll hear Peter discuss and I tomorrow morning that our forecast is for a decline in price headed into the fall.
What might change that equation? For instance, if we actually put forward a huge infrastructure program in the U.S., would that be beneficial?
Well, on a U.S.-centric basis, certainly yes. The reality is it may not manifest itself for quite some time, for years, and because it takes time. Infrastructure development is a long lead time industry. It's a long lead time project, so to speak. So a lot of time passes between when the dollars are announced, the dollars are actually planned, budgeted, spent, and steel starts to go into the ground. And that could be 3, 4, 5 years between now, let's say, some big announcement and when you actually feel the impact. But psychologically, it'll impact the marketplace, certainly.
There's a lot of discussion at this conference about emerging technologies, the digitalization of the manufacturing plant. How important will that be for the industry in future years, do you think?
Well, I think the steel industry is almost a microcosm of the global manufacturing sector. It's a constant battle between labor and capital, so to speak, and as technology advances, labor, the labor content of manufacturing dwindles, but at the same time productivity goes up, which is a wonderful thing for the industry. And certainly in the steel industry, one of the unique features of it is that technology dispersion is very quick, it's very fast. And very few technologies remain proprietary for a long period of time for somebody to extract economic rent from, so to speak. So it's definitely helping the industry advance, although in the context of oversupply, it's not necessarily a wonderful thing sometimes.
Philipp Englin, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.